Angel Reese is the most unskilled basketball player in the history of basketball, in my opinion.
Preseason is almost here, and the Chicago Sky team is getting ready to hit the court. But did you catch what the coach just did with Angel Reese? Reports say she's being assigned a new role that pulls her away from the basket. That's a big shift. She's known for dominating the paint. Now, she's being asked to step outside her usual zone. The numbers might explain why. Last season, she had the lowest shooting percentage in the league from within 5 feet, just 39.1%. The team's strategy now? Get her to take more mid-range shots, though that may be a challenge given her slower release.
And I wonder how her fans are going to feel about that. If she's further away from the basket, that doesn't mean there's going to be a lot of, or as many, I would believe, offensive rebound opportunities for one Angel Reese.
Is this drastic change what she needs to turn her career around? Or could it be the start of a decline? This new role goes against everything that built her reputation. The big question now is whether she can adjust to this unfamiliar territory or struggle under the pressure of being taken out of her comfort zone.
Attempts, and we know from 5 foot in, she was the most inefficient field goal percentage shooter.
Let's break down the tough reality of Angel Reese's performance near the rim. Last season, she made just 39.1% of her shots from within 5 feet, a surprisingly low number. These are supposed to be the easiest, most high-percentage shots in the game, yet she couldn't even convert 40% of them.
Now she knows it to the point that even when she's on the basketball court, she's aware, like, this ain't really my thing. Let me get this hot potato out of my hand and to somebody that knows what they're...
When the stats outweigh the hype, change becomes unavoidable. Reese had the lowest shooting percentage in the entire WNBA last season among players with regular minutes. Top-tier post players usually hit over 60 to 70% of their shots near the basket. Aya Wilson, for instance, made 64% using a refined drop step to create separation. Reese's numbers are so far below that standard, the coaching staff is being forced to reconsider her role entirely. You can see the frustration on the court. Her body language under the basket says it all. Even with open looks, she often dishes the ball off instead of taking the shot. That kind of hesitation shows she's well aware of the struggles she's facing in a key part of her game.
Runs down court with the basketball, 3-4 steps ahead of everybody, has an easy layup, and throws it to the girl behind.
The visuals back up the numbers. Reese's post footwork still needs refinement. She lacks a signature move, and her finishing near the rim is inconsistent. In a key fourth-quarter moment against the Connecticut Sun, she got the ball deep in the paint with just one defender to beat, but her unsteady hook shot missed badly, leaving fans clearly frustrated. Just watch that play. It says it all.
Carter is no longer on the team, and new head coach Tyler Marsh is busy installing a different vision for Chicago.
With Kennedy Carter no longer on the Chicago Sky roster, Angel Reese's weaknesses are likely to become even more apparent. Carter was a scoring threat who diverted defenders, giving Reese more room to operate. Without that distraction, defenses can now zero in on her. Head coach Tyler Marsh is drastically redefining her role, something that doesn't happen to a top rookie unless there are serious, ongoing concerns. Watch her closely during games. When she grabs offensive boards, she often puts up the same shot multiple times before scoring, if she scores at all. Those repeated misses not only waste possessions, but also stall the team's rhythm. In one frustrating moment against New York, she snagged 3 straight offensive rebounds but couldn't turn any of them into points, leaving her teammates clearly frustrated.
Offense. The Sky plan to use second-year power forward Angel Reese much differently than how she was deployed in her rookie season.
This isn't just a matter of strategy or technique. It comes down to core basketball skills that most players develop well before going pro. The league's top post players spend years sharpening their footwork, creating counter moves, and learning to finish through contact. But instead of focusing on helping Reese build those essential post abilities, the Chicago Sky are taking a radically different approach, one that could completely reshape her career. Coach Tyler Marsh is moving Reese away from the basket, a move that has left many basketball analysts stunned. Rather than investing in her post-game fundamentals, The team is steering her toward developing a mid-range shot. It's like asking someone struggling with basic math to suddenly start solving advanced equations.
She's working on being able to shoot off dribble, and when the play call is for a catch and shoot. Yeah, but what does that mean? Because she's... look, we've all seen videos of her practicing. She's got a very, very slow as serve release out.
The main issue lies in Reese's shooting mechanics, which pose a major challenge to this new role. Scouts describe her release as extremely slow, painfully slow, in fact. In the WNBA, where defenders react in a flash, that sluggish release gives opponents extra time to contest her shot. It's like giving the defense a head start in a race. That's the steep uphill climb Reese now has to overcome.
Poe wrote that Reese was increasing the use of off-ball cuts and relocating her position to constantly create balance and space in Marsh's offense. Chicago isn't planning on asking Reese to increase her three-point production this season. It says the Chicago Sky want her to take mid-range jumpers. Okay. However, Marsh wants her to add more versatility to her shot selection by hitting mid-range jumpers, 10 to 15 feet.
Altering shooting mechanics is no small task. It's like asking a sprinter to suddenly train for a marathon. It involves building entirely new muscle habits and physical adjustments. Rewiring muscle memory that's been ingrained since childhood takes serious time. Most pro-level shooters spend years fine-tuning their form, yet Reese is being asked to overhaul hers in just a few months, despite not having fully developed her finishing ability at the rim to begin with.
Chicago Sun-Times, Reese has yet to post up at training camp as she learns the new role for the offense. Oh, this should be very interesting. Quote, for Reese, that means adapting to a modified role that will tap into her full potential as a stretch four.
In recent interviews, Reese has expressed full confidence in her ability to handle the transition, saying she can learn quickly and adjust to whatever the team asks of her. But for those who've watched her closely, there's a clear disconnect between that confidence and her current technical skill set. Her mechanics suggest she's not quite ready for this shift. The upcoming preseason matchup against the Barcelona national team will be the first real test of this new approach. Imagine the moment. Reese catches the ball at the elbow, squares up to her defender, and takes her first mid-range jumper as a pro. Will she even get the shot off cleanly over the defender's hand? Every attempt she makes from that range will be closely watched, evaluated as either proof that Coach Marsh's gamble is working or evidence that it's falling flat.
Poe wrote about her new role on offense. This doesn't mean Reese will never post up again, but Marsh understands if the Sky want to build an effective offense, they need to start building out space in the half court. I don't hate that.
This marks a total reinvention of Reese's identity as a player. Most pros take years to fully develop and refine new skills before relying on them as key parts of their game. Yet Reese is being asked to undergo this transformation almost instantly, all while under the spotlight of the entire basketball world.
So I think it's going to be pretty easy. How easily Reese masters the offense will determine how successful the Sky are in 2025. The offense was a sore spot for the rookie, and how former head coach Teresa Weatherspoon let Carter delegate it didn't.
In a half-court setting, the change isn't entirely unreasonable, but there's a serious downside. It risks taking away the very thing that made Reese a household name. Her brand has been built on racking up double-doubles through relentless offensive rebounding and second-chance points. Shifting her away from the paint means fewer chances to grab boards and score on putbacks, which could drastically cut into the stats that define her game.
If her offense ratchets up to the next level, the Sky could be scary. So, the question is, how is this going to work out?
But what if this experiment doesn't work? If Reese's mid-range game falls short due to flawed mechanics, and her post-play continues to be ineffective, then what's left? The Sky are taking a major gamble, banking on a rapid transformation that, based on basketball history, rarely succeeds in such a short period.
I'm not going to lie to you. I actually feel a little bit better about her standing back further away from the basket shooting jumpers? I do, actually.
But how will this bold strategy actually play out? Believe it or not, there might be a silver lining to this drastic shift. Moving Angel Reese away from the basket could turn out to be the unexpected solution everyone overlooked. After all, we've already seen how much she's struggled in the paint, so why keep her in a position that highlights her weaknesses? This change might just be the fresh start she needs.
Now that I've seen how bad her inside game is, it's still going to be interesting because her claim to fame is what? Double-doubles. All right? That made her this hot commodity with the...
Right now, Angel Reese presents a strange contradiction. On one hand, she seems aware of her own limitations, often passing up open shots under the basket. But on the other hand, she keeps forcing the same attempts after offensive rebounds, sometimes trying the exact same shot 3 or 4 times before it finally goes in. That kind of repetition wastes possessions and stalls the team's momentum. Now, consider the potential ripple effect of her position change. Moving Reese away from the paint could open up the lane for someone like Camila Cardoso, who might finish those close-range opportunities much more efficiently. With Reese no longer crowding the key with repeated misses, the overall offense could flow more smoothly.
If she's not as close to the basket on offense, which she shouldn't, it should clear out the paint and underneath the basket for Camila to be able to rebound. And we know she can hit layups. We've seen them. We've seen them over and over. I've seen plenty of videos of her hitting plenty of layups. That could be better for the offense. He may also be fully aware that a massive hole in Angel Reese's game is the fact that she will catch a rebound and then proceed to put up 4 shots to make 1.
But here's where things get really intriguing. What happens to the double-doubles that built Angel Reese's reputation if she's no longer stationed under the basket? That's the big question. Surprisingly, her rebounding numbers might not suffer. They could even improve if she's better positioned to crash the boards from the perimeter. And it's important to remember there's a distinction between offensive and defensive rebounds. Even with a new offensive role, she can still dominate on the defensive glass. Imagine if Angel Reese fully embraced this new role, not as a primary scorer, but as a rebounding force and defensive anchor. With her relentless energy and high motor, she's perfectly suited for that kind of impact. Instead of forcing her into a scoring role she's not yet prepared for, the Chicago Sky could build their team identity around her hustle, grit, and defensive intensity. Right now marks a turning point in her career. The coaching staff is redefining what kind of player she could become in the league. Her response to this challenge could shape her future. Will she grow into a more versatile scorer with a reliable mid-range game, or will she take the Dennis Rodman path and become a dominant rebounder and defensive specialist? The first real glimpse of that answer starts with the upcoming game against Barcelona. In the WNBA, survival and success are all about adapting. So the big question is, which version of Angel Reese will define her career? Reinvented shooter or rebounding powerhouse? Let us know what you think.